Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, you can reach us at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program. If you have any questions, you can reach us at 799-9596 or on the internet at teamlally.com. That's Lally. That is the introduction to our show. Have you guys been hearing that introduction for the last 14 years? Let's break that down. Guaranteed Sold or we'll buy it. That sounds insane. What's that about?
Well, that's our Guaranteed Sell program.
Yeah, basically, we're so confident we'll get your home sold that if you give us a call and we walk you through the process and what we share with you doesn't completely blow your mind and make you want to like just list your home with us, then we'll talk about buying your home with after we go through our process, because that's what we do. So I want to talk about, selling homes is like fasting. Selling homes in this market is like fasting. Fasting requires discipline, because what is fasting basically, in its basic description?
Not eating.
So I've actually been experimenting with, not experimenting. Experimenting means like you're dabbling in something and trying it out and maybe getting results. No, I've been doing fasting for the last 4 weeks. Here's what I've learned. So this will be our fasting module that we're going to cut out and post all over social media about fasting. And I will tell you, it's something that has been around for many years in human history, because it's a part of a lot of religions, like giving up something for Lent. I think it's Ramadan with the Muslim faith and things like that. And a lot of like priests or monks or people that go into monasteries, they'll practice fasting, as a way to get closer to God. Let's talk about the biological benefits of it and how it improves your health. So aesthetically, I'll start with the aesthetics because that's what everybody likes. If you have that waistline, if you work out a lot, maybe you're watching what you're eating and that, you got those little manapuas or those fan musubis around your waist that you can't get rid of. Some of you might be on whole turkey. That's okay. One whole Kahlua turkey, maybe one whole, and then some side Kahlua pig on the side. And you're like, how do I get rid of this belly fat? Well, let me take you through, and by the way, verify all this with, and I'm not too sure with medical doctors because a lot of them don't get training in this type of.
Actually, I did have a medical doctor, an endocrinologist, that had recommended to do that.
Okay, good. They got some education.
Yes.
They just didn't do the basic generic stuff they've learned from medical school. So put it into the chat GBT, if I fasted for 12 hours, 20 hours, 48 hours, what's my body going through? So I'll describe it. First of all, glycogen. Glycogen is the things that we get from food that's stored in your liver and your muscles. That's what's converted into energy so that you don't feel like a sleepyhead when you drive in your car, or you feel alert when you're out there doing meetings or just out and about, or even exercising. So at about somewhere between 12 and 20 hours, you burn through all of that glycogen. And that's where you have those crashes, right? You have breakfast, then you crash, then you have lunch. Then you have lunch, and then you crash, and then you have dinner, like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, feeling kind of sleepy because that's the glycogen being burned out of your system. But if you go and burn through it all, and here's the thing, it's burning through the glycogen that's in your liver and your muscles. What is it not touching when we're eating 3 times a day? What is it not touching in your body that everybody wants to get rid of? Fat. It's not touching that. So people say, oh, do cardio. Here's the problem with cardio. For you to do enough cardio to burn through the glycogen to get into fat burning mode, you'd have to run like 3-4 hours every day.
That's a lot of time and running.
And then really,
and then also like on your body.
Very restrictive diet.
Yep.
And all of that. So, I mean, obviously, like, Otilio, nothing's more restrictive than fasting. What are you talking about, restrictive diet? Well, it's trying to, you're going from eating stuff all day to not eating stuff. And so here's what your body goes through. You then do what's called a metabolic shift, and you shift over to burning ketones, which are stored in your fat. So it's fat, your body getting energy from fat, or called ketosis. And what's good about that is, in my direct personal experience and through research, is that your thinking becomes clearer. I will tell you, my thinking gets hyper focused. Special forces, high producing, fast running CEOs of big companies, they will practice fasting to clear their thinking. And we do it in religious, we do it in our faith to get clearer with our thinking, with our connection to our faith, to our spiritualness, to God, whatever that is, fill in the blank. And we do it through fasting, and humans have been doing it for thousands and thousands of years. So when you focus, and then basically your fat burning increases, you're just doing light walking and working. By the way, the first time I did it, I was just doing water, like literally just water all day long. And I got these mean headaches. And that was because I didn't.
You were working out.
And I was still.
You didn't change your workout.
And I still worked out. I probably didn't work out as much. I probably worked out like 80% of what I'm used to. They don't necessarily not recommend it, but just know that at 20 hours, if you're working out, that's going to be more like you went 28 hours. At 48 hours, that's going to be more like a 72-hour fast, because you're burning through all those things and getting your body into ketosis faster. And you're burning fat like 2-3 times faster than you normally would through exercise. So now I still do the exercise, but the big thing I did, so the first week I did a 24-hour one, then the second, third, and fourth, I did 48 hours. So what I did was, the first time and you got to do this like during the week, because on the weekends, forget about it. You know, you have family get-togethers, and it's kind of like antisocial behavior not to be eating, staring at everybody and salivating. So I started Thursday evening to Friday evening the first time to Saturday evening. Then the next week I started Thursday evening. So at 8 o'clock, I stopped eating. And then I didn't eat again until Saturday. Nothing. No supplements, no protein, no nothing. Water and electrolytes. It's highly recommended if they were sponsoring our show, but get the liquid powder IV from Costco in the big packages with that, and constantly be drinking that. And I will tell you, I got down to a waistline, probably about 30 inches. I've never been to a waistline of 30 inches since I was a junior in high school. Fast forward today, I'm 59, well out of high school. And so I see what I notice. And when you start doing stuff yourself, you start noticing it with others. But when I go to the gym, I notice a lot of guys with the big jacked arms and legs and big guts, big fat guts. And the reason being is that they're not really getting into ketosis, which is fat burning. They're working out and working out and working out, probably not even doing some cardio. But even if they did, it's really tough to get rid of that sub and fat. The last benefit, autophagy. Autophagy is where all those damaged cells in your body is so busy digesting food, it doesn't go into repair mode. So autophagy means all those cells, organs, everything is getting cleared out, repaired, because your body is focused on that. And genetically, this has been happening in human beings for millions and millions of years, because back in the day, you know, when we were hunter-gatherers, there was no Costco. There was no 7-Eleven. There was no
Uber Eats.
No Uber Eats. Uber Eats should be renamed to Uber Fat, because now we have the food brought to us. We won't even get out of the house to go get it. And so because of that, way back in the caveman days, you might not eat for 2 weeks, but you still need to hunt and have clear thinking. When you're special forces and you're out on a mission, you may not eat for 2 or 3 days, and your thinking needs to be clear, or else you might die or get killed. So highly recommend you guys try fasting. That's it. That's all. Go do it.
All right. So we're going to share some reviews and upcoming events, and then we'll bring on our expert we trust.
Yep.
All right. So we actually have 2 reviews this week to share. And by the way, we did just hit our 900 Google
900 5-star reviews on Google.
We have more than 900. It's just that some of them are not showing.
Well, with the logarithms and the this and that, we try not to figure it out. We just keep serving clients at a high level and keep getting the 5-star reviews. That's all we do.
So this one is from Ifo. She says, absolutely amazing service. It's overwhelming in a good way, the amount of updates I get from Team Lally. Mahalo to the best on the West.
What I would just say is, here's the deal, folks. You don't owe any agent anything. You don't owe the banks anything. You don't owe any other parties in your situation except for your family. You owe them the very best representation. I'm going to tell you right now, don't hire us. Interview us. And you know what? Everybody gets to interview us once a week. How?
just tune into our radio
Tune
show.
into our radio show.
And I'll tell you, Aoife was coming from an experience with a different agent, so she has comparative knowledge.
Yep.
All right, this other one is from Sarah. Sarah says, Jojo, thank you so much for your incredible support and thoughtful guidance. I really appreciate the time you took to understand my situation and provide such helpful, personalized information, especially the resources on divorce, which answered questions I didn't even know I had and gave me clarity and confidence moving forward. I'm also hopeful about the retroactive permit and will review everything as I learn more. Thanks again for all your help. I truly appreciate it. Good job, Jojo.
I think one of the good job, Jojo. She's a keeper. She's by the way, our agents are all over the
all
state,
over the island, all over the state
of Hawaii. We have referral partners, not referring agents, but referral partners. The same ones have been working with us 10 years plus on Hawaii, on the Big Island, on Maui, and so even though we're mainly based on Oahu, and our marketing reaches everybody throughout the state and through the world because it's streamed and it's on all of our social media platforms. By the way, if you're thinking about selling your home, this type of vast outreach with our marketing is helping us with our listings and our sellers get more eyeballs on your property. And in this day and age with the interest rates, the war in Iran, you want to have everything, the fires, the cylinders, everything firing off to get your home sold.
All right. So we do have a couple of events that we will remind you guys about.
Yeah.
And then we'll remind also towards the end of the show.
We tell them twice. We're going to tell you now and we're going to tell you
We have Career Night coming up on May 4th. That is Monday, the first Monday in May from 6 till 7 at our Kapolei office.
It's super easy to RSVP. All you got to do is go to hawaiicareernight.com, hawaiicareernight.com. What happens if they just showed up without one RSVP? We're going to kick them to the curb?
No, we will just handwrite their name tag.
Yeah, that's what we got the blank name tags for.
So
and
come anyways.
Come with your questions, come with your curiosity. It's at our office. So you will be having a career night inside a top producing team's office and seeing exactly what that looks like for our agents and the environment that they are succeeding at a high level in.
And then the next event, this is fun. This is for tired landlords.
Tired landlords. You're like, I'm a landlord. I am so tired.
And you're tired of those terrible,
you know what I'm gonna do?
Terrible teas.
I'm going to do tired landlord, but with my Donald Trump impersonation. Hello, folks. Are you a tired landlord? Because I'm a tired landlord. Don't believe the fake news. You're tired. You're not just doing this. And the big mistakes you're making, folks, is you're renting these properties probably below market value. Are you tired of dealing with
the terrible teas?
The terrible teas, torching, toilets. Don't believe the fake news. Please come to our luncheon. Team Lally is going to have an excellent luncheon at Morton's. Please come to it.
So, so you can go to teamlally.com/DST. And this is for landlords, people who own investment properties, not only here in Hawaii, but anywhere in the United States.
I invented the 1031 exchange, and I'd like you guys to take advantage of that. The DST, that was mine. I came up with that concept. I would really like to make American landlords great again with their properties, remove all those headaches. So please RSVP for all you tired landlords for our DST luncheon.
All right. So there's the DST luncheon for accredited investors and tired landlords on May 12th.
Yes.
All right. So we have Janyce Myrland, our expert we trust, joining us to give us the tip of the week on, I don't know, Janyce knows so much about permitting, about building, about design. What is it that you're going to share with our listeners this week, Janyce?
What you got for us, Janyce?
Okay, I have a two-part tip of the week. I hope we have enough time for it.
Yes.
The first portion relates to the need for permit compliance inspections. I'm encouraging buyers and their agents to seriously look into these. We've discussed before about the high percentage of homes on Oahu that do not have permits for their various alterations. And currently, DPP staff is using tools on Google as well as MLS
like
listing.
AI tools, Janyce? Maybe
No,
not yet.
I'm referring to basic things like what you can do with satellite measurement. I mean, these things are not just in Google, they're also in the HOLIS, the GIS maps that are available. There's measurement
Yes.
tools, there's satellite
Mm.
view. So there's a department at DPP that has been using that extensively during plan review for permits. But
Wow.
in addition to that, I have seen at least one case so far, well, multiple cases where building inspectors are going on Google, looking at the street view, and then using that timeline that allows you to go back,
Ooh.
as almost 20 years so that they have a
Wow.
comparison. And I've seen one where the inspector used the MLS listing and
Yes.
Mm.
compared what was the exterior and interior photos shown on the PDF from the last time it was sold with the most recent sale. That's a ton
Yeah.
of information to back up whatever notice of violation or other issues they choose to mention.
So with this investigations, are they just randomly going to investigate, or is it because someone has reported a potential violation?
Okay, so anytime someone calls in a problem, they are obligated to investigate. And in
Mm.
and
Yes.
in that circumstance, an inspector is required to issue a notice of violation. They have more leeway if they happen to be strolling by and they have a question about something and the homeowner talks to them and they negotiate. If somebody has called, all bets are off. The notice of violation is happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Because it's the neighbor reporting something. They're going out. They're not running around in a car with, DPP police on the side of it. But again, there's probably enough of those call-in violations from the neighbors to keep them busy. And then because of today's technology, they can kind of research those things a lot quicker than jumping in a car too, right? Like you just mentioned.
Yes, so they have basis for what they're saying.
Yeah.
And you also need to realize that unfortunately, on this island, I can't speak for anywhere else, the
Yeah.
majority of call-ins happen when people see new occupants. They don't say
Yeah.
much when the other people are doing, I mean, sometimes in really, really obnoxious cases,
Yeah.
strange ones like, oh, we think they're too young to actually own that property, then you'll have some renter across the street calling in something.
Yeah.
Or if, like, let's say I had one lady was living in fear of her tenants. She was in the small cottage in the back of the
Oh,
property, and the tenants
yeah.
lived in the main house. And she overheard the tenant on the phone saying, if she ever gives me a hard time about anything, I'm going to report that back house that she lives in. And so she had me get it permitted as an ADU, and now nobody can say anything. But I mean, those are the types of things that can trigger issues. But
Yeah.
most
So
of the
you're
time they happen when the new buyer moves in.
Yeah. So for people thinking about making additions, modifications on their homes, what do you recommend as the first step?
Well, I'd love it if they'd call me because while
Yes.
I do a lot of after the fact permitting, I love doing design.
Yes.
So if they call me, we can discuss what it is they hope to achieve and
Uh-huh.
also a little bit about their budget and, are they going to age in place in the home or are they going to be
Yeah.
selling it?
By the way, we have it on the screen, but I want to say it for our listeners who are not watching us on the screen. The number is 808-206-7107. Is that a good number?
That's the office number, yes.
Office number 808-206-7107, 206-7107.
And then Janice, you mentioned most of the time this happens when new occupants move in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be safe to say that if you are in escrow or in the middle of, putting offers in the home, that you really should be a little bit more diligent about the permits on the home and doing what's called the permit check?
Yeah, talk
And
about
maybe
your
talk about the
service.
Definitely.
permit check.
Okay, so Permit Check is a secondary sister company to Dreamhouse Drafting Inc. And what it provides is an on-site inspection of a property. The property is walked through by myself, a person who does design and draws every single day, comparing it not to some opinion that I have, but to actual city documents. Permits, whether they come with drawings or not, have a building permit application that specifies a scope of work and a square footage. So we can actually figure out what belongs there, what's been added, what doesn't. And it's also important to note that anytime any additions, alterations are done without building permits, that they're not inspected. That means no plumbing inspector, no electrical inspector, no building inspector, and no verification of whether it has gotten too big for the city's floor area ratio, whether it's
Yeah.
in a setback, whether it's in an easement, none of that.
So, Janyce, is it the same number that they would call for permit check, or is it a different number?
They can call me for permit check. Permit
Okay.
check also has its own number, which is 808-445-9588.
Okay.
Hey, so call Janyce for doing the permits right from the beginning, or if you need help after the fact. And then also, if you're in escrow or thinking about getting into escrow, you definitely want to call her, because you don't want to be one of those new owners that are being reported to DPP, and next thing you know, you're getting notice of violation and fines by the day until
Yeah.
it's corrected, right? Like, those can get pretty hefty.
Yeah, they start at $50 a day now. Back
Oh,
in the
wow.
day when we first met each other and started talking, they were like less than $1 a day, and it took
Mhm.
Wow.
quite a while to get them going.
Gotcha.
Now they usually are paying much more attention, and the notices of order go out usually around 60 days.
Okay. So we got Janyce here. She's got solutions. Call her. She's an expert. She's helped many, many clients, and nothing is too complicated. We've heard about so
Don't
many.
say that.
We know.
Right,
We have
but
faith in you. You are a smart woman. You
Well,
figured
I
out
think
all sorts of messes.
I
So
think what happens is the homeowners make it complicated, but you have code and what's permittable to do, and that's what you do and come in and interpret. So I think what you do is the easy part. Is just the homeowners just thinking they can just do whatever, and you can't. And what is the main purpose of having these rules? What's your opinion on that?
all right. So whether people have complaints about our roads, our communities, and how they look or are laid out, there is a
Yeah,
plan. Okay. And we do have city ordinances, and they apply to zoning. Each area has a specific zone, whether it's residential, country, agriculture, etc. And
yeah,
so there is a definition as to what is and what is not supposed to go on there. There is a goal,
gotcha.
in other words, for each of those zones. So, like when people want to go and add to their house and have multiple units in it and they live in a residential zone, they're trying to create an apartment, but they're not in an apartment zone. And part of the factors that DPP and the planning department have come up with is things that irritate everyone when these things
Yeah,
happen. We try to prevent them. For example,
I think it's quality of life, right?
well, definitely. The streets are only about a certain width. The vehicles
Yeah,
seem to be growing. The prices keep going up, so more and more people have adults living at home with them.
yeah,
So if you have adults living at home in your family and they now have vehicles and there's a limit to what you can fit parking on your
yeah,
lot, and then someone else down the road goes and creates the monster home, and now
yeah,
it's not a family with adults, but now it's multiple units, all of which may have more than one vehicle crowding up the street. That's just one example of the types of problems, in addition to sewer capacity becomes an issue.
yeah. And I think people are like, I want to do all of this stuff, and they don't realize if you do that, if you did have carte blanche, then you're having a nightclub right next to your
Mm-hmm.
house. Um, you're just having all of this topsy-turviness. People, if you want to see a real life example today of what it looks like to not have any zoning or rules, go to a third world country.
Yep.
I've been to the Philippines. I've been to Mexico. I've been to these countries, and it's not a judgment.
It's just
There
different.
is
Yep.
everything and everything all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to anything the way things are built in those countries. And so you wouldn't want that in your own neighborhood.
Janyce, thank you so much for coming on and sharing these amazing tips with our
Yes.
listeners.
Okay,
If
and
any of our listeners
hopefully,
want to get a hold of Janyce, call her at 808-206.
7107.
thanks for
Janyce.
having me
Janyce.
on, and
Aloha.
hopefully we can discuss the part B in the future, which was
Yes.
going to be about the DPP's response to the storm and the rules that they have made for that.
Yeah,
Maybe we can
we'll
do
definitely
that
have you
next
on that
time.
for
The next show.
the next show for an update. Leave them
Yes.
hanging. It's like a TV episode.
Yes.
Stay
Tune in
tuned for the next episode.
week for
Thank you,
Janyce's
Janyce.
tip. Thank you,
All right,
Janyce.
take care.
All right, that's Janyce Myrland of Dream House Drafting and Permit Check.
Yep.
You can find her on our resource tab under teamlally.com. Well, we are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Brian Samson and Marvin Martinez of Bandsaw AI. We're going to talk about how businesses can use AI and automation to scale smarter, reduce manual work, and build systems that actually run without constant oversight.
So stay with us.
Hey, you know someone that moved to the mainland but left the rental property behind? So Amber wanted to create a new investment opportunities on the mainland, but she had to sell her island rental first. So she reached out to our good friends Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Handling the business virtually with Amber, Adrian and Attilio came prepared with multiple 5-star selling strategies, including adjusting Amber's selling price expectations, and the home sold in days. If you're in a market to sell your home and you want a team that will make you the most money with the least amount of drama, you can trust our good friends Adrian and Attilio of Team Lally. Give them a call today, 808-799-9596. That's 808-799-9596. They're trusted. You see these signs all over in my community. Visit teamlally.com today. That's teamlally.com today.
The only real estate team I trust right here in Honolulu is Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Now, thanks for joining me today. What's the number one reason homes don't sell on time?
Sean, sellers are in denial. They are stuck in the previous market and not pricing their homes properly.
How do you solve that problem?
We have a 12-step program. The first step is to have a smart pricing strategy. We follow the 10-10-0 rule. 10 showings, no offers, we have to adjust. 10 days on the market, no showings, another adjustment. For the other 11 steps, give us a call.
Great update. Thank you for keeping us informed. Put the most experience and the best marketing to work for you. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com. And you can start packing.
In today's fast-changing real estate market, you need access to the right information to make smart choices. I invest in real estate all over the country, and I rely on smart agents who know their local market inside and out. In Honolulu, I work with Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi. Adrian, Attilio, and their team sell a home every 72 hours and have over 750 5-star reviews. Go to teamlally.com and find out in just seconds what your home is really worth.
And thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, you can reach us at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Our guests today are Brian Samson and Marvin Martinez of Bandsaw AI. Brian brings over a decade of experience building and scaling service businesses across Latin America for the U.S. market with the background in executive leadership, venture capital, and operational strategy. Today, he works with founders to design AI-driven systems that align people, process, and technology for scalable growth.
Marvin focuses on execution, turning strategy into real-world systems. With over 13 years in operations, he specializes in building AI-powered automations that eliminate manual work, reduce risk, and create consistent, predictable workflows for businesses. Together, they help companies move from fragmented processes to streamlined, system-driven operations that scale without chaos. Please welcome our guests, Brian Samson and Marvin Martinez.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
We're happy to be here. Attilio, happy belated birthday.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, people, they like, oh, you're born on April Fool's Day, and then you know what they say? Okay, now we know why.
That makes sense.
Explains a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I've had Oreo cookies with Colgate toothpaste. My family plays pranks with me all the time, my friends. Oreo cookies with Colgate toothpaste, muffins with ketchup injected. I've had my underwear sewed together in my drawer, not on me. One time my coworkers, they put sticky notes on my entire cubicle, like every surface.
I love it.
But anyway, this is no joke. AI, I mean, it's
a hot topic.
It is a hot topic. By the way, I just want to verify, you guys are like real people on this show right now. You guys are not AI.
This is
They're real people.
They're real people. Okay.
All right. So guys, what are the biggest mistakes businesses make when trying to use AI today? What have you guys been seeing?
Yeah, maybe I'll start with if you feel a little intimidated with AI, you feel a little paralyzed, like you're hearing about this, Claude, Code, ChatGPT, what is all this stuff? Does my business need it? Should I try it? You are not alone. Almost everyone we talk to just feels kind of overwhelmed, like, what do I do with this? How do we use it? What are other ways people are using it? What are some stories? This is what we hear all the time. And that was really the thesis for creating Bandsaw, is to help small companies put this in their workflow. And by the way, there are big companies that are still stressed out about this. There's a lot of people that are just kind of stressed. We're helping them put together some workflows. And then Marvin, my partner in crime here, can talk about what are some of the scary things or ways that we've been able to turn stress and chaos into real workflows.
Okay.
Yeah, Marvin, we'd love to hear some real life examples and success stories, because I think that people can relate to other businesses and just, and then take us through that whole progression of what did it look like before, and then how did they, what's happening now?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show in the first place. And I'll be happy to share some of my experience with this AI that is so insane lately. And I want to make it simple for you guys. Have you ever called a service company? It could be a cleaning company, locksmith company, any company with customer service, and then no one answers your phone call? How does that feel?
Yeah.
Yes.
That happens all the time. They actually should not call it the customer service department. They should call it the customer disservice department.
Yeah, I feel you.
It just...
Yeah, I
But I want to say, though, shout out to Cleanscape. That has never happened with the Cleanscape.
With Cleanscape.
Never.
With our Hawaii locksmiths.
Yes.
They are spot on, because it's that
None
first...
of the companies that Brian owns.
Yeah.
He's the number one fan of this AI and organized approach.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But tell us more.
Yeah, so basically, one of the simple or the simpler use cases that you can have AI is to build an AI receptionist that answers phone calls for you when you are not available. And don't get me wrong, you don't want to give the full power to the AI. You only want to make sure that the customer gets the acknowledgement that you will take care of them. So you can have the AI answer the phone call, say, hey, I am AI. We love transparency. And I'm going to take your details. The owner or the company is not available right now, but we're going to take your information, pass it on, and then someone will call you, someone real, right? So that's one of the simplest use cases that I can tell you about. And these companies can just start making anywhere between $150, $600 that they can get back because they answered that phone call. Because if a company,
But yeah, I will tell you that
because they're not losing the customer.
Exactly.
In our industry, real estate, you know, my number one tip is for the agents: answer your phone. Answer your phone. And so for small businesses, it's got to be the same. If I'm going to go call a plumber, I would say, like, if this is anecdotal, I'm making this up, but probably 98% of consumers make the decision on the person that answers the phone or gets back to them.
Yep.
That's it. Such a simple fix, especially with AI. The AI voice, though. What if I wanted to sound like Wantira from Waianae? Oh, hey, what you like? Oh, today? You kidding me? We will come out? No.
Can you do that, Marvin?
Yeah,
Is that possible?
we'll have to do some special training on that one. But
Well, like, I want it to be like, I want Augie T to be answering all our inbound calls. Hey, what's up?
The good news is AI
Or
can
Kevin Hart. Can I have Kevin Hart answer our phone?
makes me think of the old Budweiser "What's up" commercials. But
yeah, I want the Bud Light guy answer my phone. What's up?
Yeah.
Oh, you need a realtor? No problem.
Yeah, so if I can share, because I know there's also a lot of realtors that are listening to this, maybe like 2 quick anecdotes. Ways that AI can help their business. Bandsaw could build it. So that first one Marvin hit on, and when you're showing a home, you don't want to be rude to your clients in the moment, right? But you also don't want to miss those calls. So you can create like a input form on the back end of that, but the AI is able to have like a full conversation with you, so they can ask questions, you answer. You can talk to it like a human. It is wild. It's not as tight and constrained and like scripted as we might see.
Yeah.
So you can have like 3 or 4 quick questions like, hey, are you calling about a current listing, or is there something else that you wanted to get solved? And they might say current listing. And, Hawaii street names can get a little complicated. So maybe you can, say, is this about a West Side listing or a Honolulu listing or East Side, and kind of segment it. So you don't want to ask too many questions, but you want to just get enough. Great. Share your email. It's amazing, like how AI is able to take what you say, get the exact spelling correctly on that email, put it in like a Google form. You can create a quick text. So it texts back that person who just left the message for you. So they feel acknowledged that, hey, somebody's capturing my information. The person will get back. The second, I've never met a group of people that love content more than realtors. And and like you said, Attilio, before, even Team Lally, it's a marketing company that happens to be in the home selling business, right? And I think that's a fantastic way for anybody in real estate to look at their business. So I'll take myself, for example. I'm pretty up front, just like many realtors are. I've got lots and lots of content out there. What Bandsaw built for me is we created this tagged library of like 500 pieces of content. And when I wake up in the morning, I get served a quick email. And I just do 3 quick drop downs of like, what do I want to post about? And for a realtor, it could be tips on VA loans, right? Or like whatever you want to lead with your content that morning. So you don't have to worry so much about all this editing or like trying to remember what you did a video about.
Coming up with the idea to begin with.
Yeah. And this way, a lot of your content that you created a year or 2 ago is still usable, right? There's all this stress to come up with content every single day, which is still there, but you can repurpose, reuse a lot of this content with an engine that tags, extracts, and it can post stories on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can do quick Facebook posts, and it's really about 30 seconds a day of you just clicking a few buttons.
I would say too that you're probably for the listeners right now, the business owners out there, the little mom and pop entrepreneurs, realtors. I mean, we have in our industry, there's a networking, there's coaching for everything. You're not sure how to go to the bathroom. We've probably got a coaching program for that in real estate. I'm serious. Everything and everything, masterminds, it's just on and on and on. What I noticed in interacting with other businesses, they don't have that. There's no plumbers convention to go to learn about how AI can answer your inbound calls. I can go to 10 of those, either webinars or in person with the real estate industry. So I'm thinking like you plumbers out there, small businesses owners on Oahu, AC contractors, cleaning companies, all of those companies out there, especially right now. We had our water restoration company on, and with the flooding in Wailua, they're just going nonstop 24/7. And the owner of the company is literally he hired somebody just to drive him so that he can be in the passenger seat, responding, text messages, answering the phone. If he had Bandsaw, you should talk to him.
Yeah.
We'll make an introduction. Then that would all being handled, especially with water restoration. They need to take the call at 3 a.m.
That's right. That's right.
AI don't get tired.
That's right.
They don't ask for more money. They don't call in sick. They don't have an attitude unless you want that in the programming.
Yeah, and if I can add, Attilio, to one comment that you said, you can train the AI to sound like your company, your voice, your rules. That's the best part. You can actually customize it, and you can just show it your exact workflow. And one of the key parts in this is that you can not only do voice agents that can answer the phone calls, but that information that is captured by the agent can be pushed back into your systems. If you use Google Sheets, if you use whatever CRM to manage your customers, we can actually help you build the connections within the systems using AI. And that's crazy, because you get a call, you get the lead, you qualify the lead, you have the AI asking questions. If it's the right person, then
qualifying
your
them,
service, so you can send that person over to a sales specialist to close the sale. If not, you can send that person over to your newsletter, distribution list for nurturing. There's so many things you can do with AI in so little time. I manage my leads, my processes, and everything myself with some time to spare. So it's crazy the amount of things you can do with AI as a business
and I
owner.
think that's important, that integration with the CRM, because there's in coding and programming, I know this is what they refer to it. I'm not a coding nerd, but I know coding nerds. It's called if this, then that. If this, then that. That's what the IA is saying. Oh, you want the west side? No, I want the east side. If this, then that. Then you start talking about east, and then that's all coding is drilling it down. And we've had that in like static 2-dimensional forms that we filled out. But now if you can have a human being, I really seriously too, with the voice to transcription into the programming, that we are at that day and age, just like in Star Trek. Computer, calculate the tertiary benefits of speaking to my first officer in this manner, and blah blah blah, and then it calculates it. AI in general, I'm probably using it about 20 times a day. 20 times a day. Here's an interesting one, towing company. Those guys, I tell you, Brian, you want to go buy a towing company? Let's go buy one. I'll buy one. They print money all day long.
Yeah.
Because AI hasn't figured out how to tow a car yet.
Yeah.
But here's something. I have CJ is my sister's boyfriend. He's been towing since he's 16, 47 years. And the number one challenge with the new drivers is that there's a different ways to tow electric cars, and then all the gas-powered cars, you have to figure out how to put it in neutral. He has 47 years of experience, and I showed him, hey, CJ, check out this. Give me a make model of any vehicle, like the toughest ones with the most obscure ways to put it in neutral. And AI shot it back. AI shot it back to him. So people don't realize how easy it is. Literally, you have the world's knowledge in the palm of your hand that just listens to you. And the other thing, too, maybe you guys are business owners that are lonely. Did you know that the majority of AI is being used for relationships? Like people are just lonely and talking to their AI.
And they give them a name.
They give them a name.
What is your AI's name?
My AI's name is Bra. Hey, Bra, I get one question for you. But yeah, tell us more, because I think the plumbers, the HVAC guys, they're really good at their technical skill.
Yeah.
But all of this is like Greek to them. They have no idea what the heck you're talking about. So you guys will come and meet with them, Zoom or whatever, and you'll, I'm not gonna say dumb it down, but just like make it simple. So they can execute.
Yeah, what does this look like for someone
who's like a consultation?
New? Who's very new to AI and new to technology. What does that
They still get the flip phone, some of these people.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's like, where do I start? And you know, there's a lot of smart people out there that are just like overwhelmed. And by the way, we're busy with our regular jobs. You know, there's a lot going on. It's hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
Small business owner, entrepreneurs, realtors, there's stuff coming at you all day. So we can help just be that extra time you don't have. And we're learning what's going on in the industry.
Oh,
we're learning.
What's the phone number they should call?
So how do they get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, so just go to our website. It's going to be bandsaw.ai. Bandsaw.ai.
Bandsaw.ai. Those watching us on the streaming, it's BANDSAW.ai. AI, I know too. I was listening to a podcast. I don't know if you guys know this, or AI is like, you know, that suffix for a domain name. It's some little island country or something like that, and they're making a cajillion dollars.
Oh,
like AI is there, and because of AI, and it's some small country with like, I don't know, 5,000 people, and they're literally 90% of the nation's income is the .ai.
Oh, that's wild.
Who knew?
That's wild.
Yeah. But and so with AI, what are some of the do you have any success stories that you started with some people just like recently?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Comfort Express one?
Yes, I do. But before going into that, just a quick message. I have been in operations for 13 years, and I know exactly the whole, and that's what makes us different, right? Because you don't know where to start with AI, I will help you map your process out. It doesn't matter what your industry is, there's always patterns that I am very good at identifying, right? So just a 30 minutes call will help me, or even less, 20 to 30 minutes will help me understand how AI can help you, right? And we start with the most simple process that you repeat every day. Going back to the success stories, recently we worked with a transportation and logistics company. They have 46 vehicles, cars, and they have 46 drivers, each driver doing between 5 to 8 trips every day. So imagine the workload of how many trips they did. They were doing over 120 trips every day. And they had one person that spent 3 hours going into their system and writing down each driver, each car, and each trip into a Google Sheet. They would build that up and then pass it on to the accounting team for invoice processing. That whole process would take them 3 hours every day. Think about that person doing that job manually. Yes. So I got in, talked to the guys. I talked to the owner who had the vision. I talked to the operator who knew the process. And then I provided some tips on how they could tweak the process, which helped them a lot. And we automated that process. And now everything that I explained to you that took 3 hours, they do it in 15 minutes every day. And they don't have to do it every day. They can do it once every other day if they wanted to. So we gave that person or that company back 2 hours and 45 minutes per day, which is a lot.
Wow.
What are they doing with that time?
That is your most valuable resource on the planet. You're a homeless person that lives in the park or a billionaire. We all have a finite amount of time, 24 hours.
You know,
Bill Gates doesn't get 25. He only gets 24, just like us.
You know, the other thing I'll add on that too is that automation creates 0 errors. So when a human is doing that, hey, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes all day long, you know? So imagine you're cutting that from 3 hours to 15 minutes every day. So that's, dozens and dozens of hours you save per month, hundreds per year, and you don't have any mistakes to worry about.
Yeah.
Even better.
Exactly.
So this is awesome.
Well, we are, unfortunately, our time is coming to an end. So is there any last words of wisdom that you guys have to share with our listeners before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I'd say, there's macro, like what's going on with AI overall. Most people have probably heard of ChatGPT, Claude. So that's something we'd be happy to be their
help them navigate.
A lot of companies have like an IT guy. We can be your AI guy, and
I love that.
Give you some insight into what's going on in the world. And then every industry is a little bit different. Might be a plumbing company, might be a real estate company. There's all these like little tools that you might not even know are out there that you could implement into your business. And that's where we come in. So if you're intimidated, overwhelmed, please don't stress. This is what Bandsaw is here for.
So it's bandsaw.ai. By the way, the country is called Anguilla. The government owns the .ai, and it literally is like 90% of their income for the entire country. And it was just pure. All those suffixes were from countries, right? AU and all that stuff. So they had AI. They never knew that it was going to be worth so much money. So if you go to the small country of Anguilla and everybody's driving around G-Wagons, you know why.
Well, thank you again, Brian and Marvin. Love the info, and Team Lally is going to be calling you for a consult.
Yeah, so that's bandsaw.ai, bandsaw.ai.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Aloha. All right, well, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Bradley with Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar to Post Home Inspection.
John with Kilowatt Pest Control.
Duke of Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Robinson with Fine Line Paintworks.
Amphi of Estate Planning Group.
Jason Wu, Attorney at Law.
Rhino of Hawaii Unified.
Janice with Dreamhouse Drafting.
Fabio of Hawaii Water Damage Restoration.
Kyle with Impact Wealth.
Brian of Plainscape.
Benji with Hawaii Referral Agent.
Danny of DHA Financial.
Joseph with Keymasters Locksmiths of Hawaii.
Christopher of Falcon Services.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, all you got to do is go to teamlali.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Hans, our producer.
Chee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed sold program.
If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha. No, the other hand. Go with the other hand.